All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to what is another Chris Allen recap, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Basically, this is where I talk about things that I care about. And as you might tell from the picture right in front of us, it's league related. So, this shouldn't be too much of a long one, but it's gonna be one where I'm angry. Now, oh god, hold on, I feel a burp coming. False alarm, I guess. Anyway, I just got out the shower, I'm wet, I'm naked. I saw this, and immediately all the water evaporated off my body because of how angry and steamed I got from seeing this. So, for those of you who don't know, Samira, is an AD in the bot lane. She's pretty fun. Now, when she came out, I'll be the first to admit that she was a little powerful. She kinda did a lot of damage. So they nerfed her, right? They nerfed her. And we got to the point, pre what I'm about to show you, where, in my opinion, she was decent. There it is, excuse me. We got to the point where she was decent, right? She wasn't crazy. She had really low range, aka Lucian range. The only thing she had to go for her, range-wise, was her Q. They kind of nerfed her passive where she can't hold people in a CC anymore. They have to be knocked up, at which point she extends the knock-up. Whereas, again, like I just said, before, she used to just extend all hard CC on a person. They nerfed the dash range, so that kind of hurt her mobility a little bit. They made her cooldowns longer, which I think they should be. You should definitely choose, especially if the E has a reset and whatnot. And, she was still getting played here and there, but in general, I felt like she wasn't crazy. They nerfed the lifesteal ratio on her kit, because that was a big point of contention, because all you built on Samira was lifesteal, and basically, you never died. If you didn't get 100 to 0, you almost never died. Now, I did agree that was a little bit much, but they reined it in. They nerfed her lifesteal. They then nerfed her crit. They then nerfed her damage. They nerfed her cooldowns. They nerfed her passive. They nerfed everything about her, right? And again, she was in an okay spot. She wasn't played really that much. In competitive, she wasn't, dominating every other AD. The ADs that are dominating are Jhin and Kai'Sa, right? They're still the top. Now, and that's mostly because of the mythic item, but even then, Riot has decided, for some odd reason, I don't know why they did this, but they've decided to take a knife and essentially cut the throat of one of their newest ADCs in the game. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Now, I'm actually going to bring up the Google to actually show you guys what they're doing. And what better place to show you than Reddit? Ignore the the ads, but look at this shit, right? Here's what they're nerfing. Her AD ratio on her, I guess, passive, aka when you go in for an auto, you do the melee auto, that's going down by a lot. Her Q is getting less lifesteal effectiveness. A big change. I should have saved this for the patch notes video, which I am going to do, but this just got me so insanely bugged, like, I don't even understand this shit. Her AD ratio on her Q was changed from 100% to 80, 87, 95, 102, 110. So that means early, the main thing you use to poke and to do anything, it's basically like your second auto almost, is getting gutted. This is insane. It's gonna do less than an auto, which doesn't make any sense to me. This not only forces Samira to go up and actually auto the minions, which, again, with Lucian range, she's gonna get bullied out, but it's not even gonna do as much damage as an auto. You know how many people are gonna get tripped up by this when they go for CS now? I remember when they took 5 AD off Jin's grenade, how bad that was for Jhin mains. Like, it messed up our CSing so badly for the longest time until we got used to it. This is insane how much they're, like, taking off. They're taking off 20%. That's crazy. Luckily, they're bringing it back a little bit later, but as I've always said, Samira gets countered by hard armor and hard CC. If you build those two things against her, she really doesn't do anything. She's not that crazy. But that's not it. That's not all they're doing. The Blade Whirl, they're lowering the duration by 0.25. If they had to do anything, I'd be okay with that. That's an AoE wind wall on an ADC that does damage twice. I'd be like, okay, that's understandable. If anything, that's understandable. Even though she's already not that safe to begin with. Her one really safe tool just got nerfed by 25%. Okay. This also is insane. Her E, the dash range, or the dash speed, is basically a lot lower. They're giving her the recon treatment. And the biggest thing, which I don't understand, is it's no longer usable on allies. So at this point, if you go in for CS, because you have to auto them, if you Q, it's not as good and you're going to mess up and you're not going to get CS. And plus, it's blocked by the first enemy in its path. So you have to go into auto. Now, if you get into trouble, you W, oh shit, you mistimed the W because it's shorter now, they hit you with the CC, or they hit you with a lot of damage, you can't even get out. Because you can't E to allies. If they did everything else is already, like, really bad. But the fact that you can't E to allies, this is almost as bad as, like, imagine if Lee Sin couldn't ward hop. Imagine that. That would extremely nerf the character. Like, this is insane what they're doing. And then the R, this is another insane change. What they're doing is just murder, honestly. It's driving like a bullet into her brain. I don't know why anyone would play Samira after this, unless you just haven't played her, and you want to try her, realize she's ass, and then never play her again. The cooldown is increased from 3 to 8 seconds. What does this mean? This means if you get an S, you cannot use your ult right away again. So basically they made it so you can't spam your ult, which they already nerfed to do less damage, scale worse, and not lifesteal as much. And honestly, you kind of do more damage, unless you're hitting a 5-man with it. You're doing more damage with your regular kit than your ultimate. So sometimes it's not even worth it to use the ultimate. But anyway, they're making it so you can't spam your ultimate, which was the entire like thing around Samira. You have your old style flare thing, and then like, yo, Jesus Christ. And I'm showing Reddit for a reason here, just to show you what the community thinks, similar to me. This is a public execution. She's not even the best AD in her role. There's no way this goes through. Like, people are saying this is crazy. There's no way they're dropping all of them at the same time. This is ridiculous. I don't understand. ADs are not even in that good of a spot. Yeah, they gave us like some crumbs here and there in the last couple patches, but yo, this is honestly crazy. This shows why people like I'm a Cutie Pie have left this game, because this is how they treat any AD that has an inkling of fun to them and is half decent. Because again, Samira was a little bit much at launch, I'll be the first to admit that. But they reined her in, and yeah, she wasn't the best, but she was still fun and okay. Now they just make her unfun because you're going to get caught out by everything. You have so less safety, you have no range, you do less damage overall, and you're just going to get cucked playing her. She's now a noob trap, I believe. This is ridiculous. I hope Riot, to dear God, stops putting their heads up their asses and just makes my role great again. But anyway, that's all this recap is going to be, just my rants about how Samira's gutted and how AD is pretty shit. But, I mean, this is the path we're on. Thankfully, right now, like I said before, Kaisa, Kassan's daughter, and Jin are pretty good. But that's, you know, bound to get fixed eventually, because for some odd reason, ADs just can't be good. I don't know why, but they just can't. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here.